The Comic-Con that is a mile above the rest has returned for 2013, and it's bigger than ever. Stan Lee is at Denver Comic-Con this year. Kelly Hu is going to be at Denver Comic-Con. Also, Felicia Day from the Guild at Denver Comic-Con this year. You can get a special beer at Denver Comic-Con, the Cape Crusader. Comic-Con 2013. Buy tickets online, denvercomiccon.com. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic Con 2013. Log on to Denver Comic Con right now and purchase your tickets. They went up because you waited too long.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean the entertainment's any less valuable.
And you can still get them at the old price if you go to the retailers, like Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics even. You can get them at the old price, get them a little bit cheaper, so that's a good way to go.
I love Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Especially now, they got Steve Niles, who we talked about last week. We talked about 30 Days a Night. He's going to be, the writer's going to be there now,
Wow.
as well as Steve Wiebe, who, if you've ever seen King of Kong, is an awesome guy.
Yeah.
So go get
I thought
some
just
good
the
tickets.
Twin Galaxy guys is showing up there.
He's going to be there, too.
Keep on missing all these announcements because I have a
They're
stupid phone that doesn't update me all the time.
And they're coming real fast. It's hard to catch them all.
They are. So, yeah, Denver Comic-Con. Also, the best way to listen to Real Nerds Podcast is Tweaked Audio earbuds. If you log on to tweakedaudio.com, and when you're checking out, say, oh, I have a coupon. This one word, Real Nerds. Put it in. A third off your whole order. That is so amazing.
It is.
For some amazing earbuds.
It's a lot of money if you buy $10,000 worth of
It
earbuds.
is. It's a lot of money. But enough about money. Let's get into the show. If you've never listened to Real Nerds Podcast, every week we go see a new movie. This week we saw Star Trek Into Darkness. Is it as dark as you think it is? Dun, 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 dun. Stay tuned for the spoilerific review. Also, you can call us, 720-6nerds5. You can tweet us, real_nerds. Go to our webpage, realnerdspodcast.com. Leave a message. James' cousin left us a message this week. The only thing we got this week from mail. You didn't see it?
Which cousin? No, I'm excited.
It's Kara.
Oh, wow.
All right, cool. And also, you can like us on Facebook, and you can go to the Oriental Theater May 28th and see our debut pod show, Real Nerds Pod Show, starring me, the most important person in this podcast.
Who are you?
Brad, who fucking cares, all right?
Every person's podcast could
It's
be
the
their
first
first
one.
podcast.
You say this every fucking
Now,
week.
now you're mocking Stanley.
And now, eventually, I'm going to get to it. I'm just doing all this shit I have to do right away. Get it out of the way. I'm Ryan. Thank you for listening.
Hi, Ryan.
To my left is Dumbass. To my right is Smart Guy.
Yeah, smart guy. That's the only time I've ever been talked nice to by Ryan. That's how much he hates you right now, Brad.
Why must you hurt me? When you know I have the power to edit this show.
I know. I keep on waiting for you to do something stupid to me, but
He has the power. He doesn't have the time. That's the
Yeah.
You
thing.
auto-tune me through the whole episode.
Like Andy in The Office this week.
One
Yeah.
day. Oh.
But that's Brad. I'm Ryan. James. And this week, you're like, oh, it's time for fan mail. Haha, not so fast, my friends. When we have guests on the show, we always start with our guest. And lately, we've been, talking about people from Denver Comic-Con. We actually have somebody who's going to be at Denver Comic-Con on our show.
What?
So go ahead and introduce yourself to all the listeners here, sir.
Hi, I'm Joshua Catalanato. I do the comic book Trash Man, and I'm going to be in Artist Alley this year at Denver Comic Con.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming on the show,
Yeah.
Josh.
Thanks for having me.
That's a cool score. I mean, usually we're just like, oh, I wish we could get some cool comic book guy on the show. Got him. So, Joshua, why don't you... You're friends of Charlie, who wrote our new theme song, and you also know Andrew from Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. Is that correct?
I do, yeah. Charlie and I played in high school jazz band together.
Wow.
I was on guitar, he was on piano.
Very cool.
And Andrew and I are friends through the store.
Very cool.
Yeah, through Colorado Coins and
It's
Comics.
such a small world.
Yeah.
You run into these people, and it's great. That's what I love about this podcast. I mean, I love hearing my voice every week, too. But more so, I love meeting new people. So, Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you get into comics? Then obviously talk about Trash Man, your influences, and all that cool jazz.
Definitely. Well, I grew up in Aurora, Colorado, and I I've always had a fascination for nerdy things. So at an early age, I started reading comic books at the grocery store, of all places.
Wow.
I'd
So
buy,
you grew up in 1964.
hey, that's where I guess got my start.
Wow.
Like MTV comics, like the Max. Just buying random issues, reading them. Then when we were really little, I don't know the exact year, my parents bought us a Packard Bell computer. Came preloaded with a program called Spider-Man Cartoon Maker.
I made that. I played that. Yes, I did.
As soon as you said Packard Bell, I had that same computer, and that was my first thought was, I used to love that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And how you used to make your own Spider-Man cartoons.
Exactly.
Me and my friend Brandon, we would cut the heads off of people and have them bounce through certain scenes and have a trail of red going through it.
So for the past 15 years, there's this thing in movies. It's this little piece of audio that they use that I only recognize it because of that game. No.
Scream.
No. Well, no. It's not that one. That one. Though you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It's the police car. When you would run it through the screen, it would go Code Liberty 25, Code 6, 105 North Avenue 62. Every time I hear that in a movie now, I think back to that Spider-Man game. Oh my
Me
God.
too.
That's awesome.
So good.
Man, we're even good at derailing guests.
You just blew my mind.
Well, Spider-Man Cartoon Maker was where my brother and I came up with the idea for Trash Man. We just got done watching the movie Men at Work, and we used to take those characters and make them do things that weren't Spider-Man things. And so we kind of combined the idea of Men at Work with Captain Planet at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And made the Trashmen the heroes and all the environmentalists the stereotypical cliched bad guys.
Yeah.
So you've got a guy who can recycle any garbage you want and make brand new computers. It was totally cliched, ridiculous comic book stuff.
Yeah.
And the trash man had to go stop him because this recycler was stealing the profits from the landfill and taking all the business. And when I grew up, I was in college. I tried to make it into a cartoon with a few guys, but found out animation was really hard. So I eventually sat down and reconfigured the whole idea and made it a comic book with it's not a serious comic book by any means. It still remains like a cartoon, but it's got more of a satirical approach, like the Colbert Report on environmental issues, essentially.
So it's independently produced. Do you write and draw it, or do you have a writer and inker? Do you do everything for the book?
I do everything, yeah, except for edit it. If I didn't have my girlfriend, it'd be full of misspelled words and bad grammar and you name it.
So it's only the spelling and like the writing she edits, or like because editors can also do like panels and action. Like...
Yeah, definitely. She'll definitely give me advice whenever I need it, but it is mainly the writing. Yeah, the words and checking over the final proof before I send it to the printer like 4 or 5 times.
How do you get it printed? Because I imagine that's kind of the hardest part.
I went to college for graphic design, so finding printers was actually kind of easy for me. I just did a Google search. Cheap comic printing, and I came up with a few independent guys that do independent printing for not a steal by any means, but pretty cheap. I went through Comics Press for my first issue, and they had the cheapest prices by far. But my reprints for Denver Comic Con, I had to go through Kablam, which is a little bit more popular among indie creators.
Very cool.
And you can get it print on demand, so I can get anywhere from 1 issue to 10,000 for the same exact price.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how many issues have you written of Trash Man?
I've just finished the script to issue 3. This whole arc is a 5-issue arc, and I have it completely planned out. The spine's complete for 4 and 5. Issue 1 is out now with this cover. It was the first printing cover I did of it's like a watercolor painting with the villain creeping up behind the hero. And issue 2 will be premiering at Denver Comic Con with a new cover on issue 1 as well for the second printing.
So what were your influences besides, Captain Planet and stuff? Did you have a favorite comic book that you read that was the basis for it, or is it just all the Spider-Man cartoon and the Captain America? So you're just basically taking the over-the-top things and wielding them into an environmental issue.
Yeah, it was actually not too influenced by comics outside of the Spider-Man cartoon maker, but it was. I was reading at the time Ultimate Spider-Man, and I moved on since then to like Batman and Justice League and any DC stuff. So I've always had influences with whatever I'm reading at the time, giving me ideas on how to frame out things or how I want to draw a certain issue or write a certain issue. I got a lot of help from the DC Guide 2, which they put out this whole series of books where they kind of broke it down, each part of the process, writing, penciling, inking, lettering, and coloring.
So do you write a script first, or do you draw and then write? Do you do it the Marvel where you draw panels and then you fit in the word balloons to make it fit? So I guess, do you think of the plot first and then the story second, or is it the story and then the drawing?
Even though I'm doing it all myself, I plan it out as much as possible just to have a good idea of what I'm doing. So what I do when I'm writing, I start with a spine, just basically what's going to happen in each act of the comic. And I have that broken down into like the climax, the rising action, all the basics that you get in any plot. From there, I write it out as prose. I want to make sure it's interesting as like a short story before I spend about 6 months drawing it. And then I fully script it out because I want to have a good idea of where my dialogue's going to go and how to frame the action before I start thumbnailing it. A lot of stuff does change in between writing the script and thumbnailing it, but it usually stays pretty tight to my script.
Do you enjoy doing each part of the process, or is there like a specific step that you enjoy more than others?
Well, I love drawing it, but when I do write it, I love that too. So I originally started doing the series on my own to kind of figure out what do I want to do in this industry, because it's a team-based effort. Yeah. When you work for DC or Marvel, you're put with 3-4 other guys working on the same book, maybe 5 sometimes. And I ended up liking it all. So to some capacity, I would love to do my own stuff for a long time. Always want to produce independent stuff, but ideally I'd like to cut my teeth at DC someday and get in and probably start with whatever they'll give me.
So you ever thought about going and submitting your work to them? Like I know San Diego has a thing where they have, you can submit, I guess, commissioned work, or have you done that before, or are you thinking about it? Are you preparing stuff for it?
Yeah, I'm preparing for it right now. I kind of see this as like another 3-year process, maybe. It takes me about 6 months to draw each issue. And where I'm at now, it's as much of a learning process for me as it is a labor of love. Every issue comes out looking way better than the next one, like a completely different artist drew it. So every issue, I'm learning how to draw new things, learning how to draw things I used to draw better, and I just keep practicing at it every day so that one day I will feel confident submitting my drawings or my writing to DC.
That's awesome.
Who would you say your style imitates artistically? Do you have your own style, or do you draw inspiration from a particular artist?
Well, I try not to copy other people too much. Not to say I'm not influenced by people. I love Greg Capullo's work on Batman right now. His pencils are just really awesome, and Jim Lee, of course, the 2 biggest artists at DC right now, definitely captivate my imagination and how to just tell a story through framing and pacing through the whole story. And rendering. Jim Lee's a fantastic renderer. I'm by no means at their level. I wish I could say that that's my style, but my style right now is pretty much, I would consider it my own style. It is drawn a lot from Saturday morning cartoons. I'm not trying to, I don't pay too much attention to making sure every piece of anatomy is right. I just want it to look bright and cheerful, but have these like dark undertones of a weird, twisted universe where the recyclers are doing terrible things to just make people recycle, and the trash man's out to save the day.
I think that sounds like the real world.
Is there?
Yeah, in a way.
Ryan hates recycling.
You mentioned pacing, and one of the things that really impressed me and got me into comics was when I got back into comics was I was reading Brian K. Vaughan's Why the Last Man, and of course the way he paces and the way he uses the panels is amazing. Is there a lesson you've learned, especially going from one book to the next, about how to use those frames and where to put your page turns and that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I try to always make sure that there's something exciting on the next page, something that a little bit of mystery, even if it's like just an empty box. I want someone to be able to open it and see what's going to happen on the next page. In my first issue, it starts out where the trash man, he's just going back to work, normal day, and he sees something weird in the trash can, and then boom, flip the next page, and it's Mark Maron's severed head. So
wait, actual Mark Maron severed
it's
head?
not supposed to be Mark Maron, but I used a picture of him as reference because I thought he kind of looked homeless in it, and I needed a homeless guy.
He does kind of look homeless, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of his, but
yeah. Do you find yourself when you're writing the new scripts looking for or planning those turns out and planning those little surprises into the book?
Oh, definitely. I just finishing writing the third issue. I wanted to keep every page turn to be as shocking and gross as possible. There's just some gruesome stuff that happens in this next issue, and I love to draw gruesome stuff. So, guts, puking, eyeballs coming out.
Yes, I love violence.
Oh, man, that's cool.
So is there a place where we can buy your comic online? Can we buy it in local shops?
Yeah, actually, you can buy my comic at Colorado Coins and Comics. In the indie comic section. If you have trouble finding it, you can ask for Andrew, and he'll point you in the direction.
You know, I just noticed that there this last week I was there, and they have a Colorado section now.
Yeah,
there where they have your book and a couple others there. That's pretty cool.
Definitely. Yeah. It was a great honor when he let me be in there. I was surprised, to be honest, because I kind of just started doing the comic thing. I've been doing art a long time, but when he took a chance on me, it was really, really cool.
Yeah. That's so neat. That place is awesome.
Where does Line Science come from?
Oh, that was actually my old freelance graphic design company. So Line Science, not Lion. And I basically took that idea when I came up with the idea when I was freelancing for graphic design. I just thought it was a cool idea, because I use so many different tools to create different lines for people. I use pencil to start, a dip pen or a brush to ink things out, and then sometimes I use the Wacom tablet, the Wacom pen, to make lines. So it's all about the science of creating art, the science of the lines that I'm drawing.
Interesting.
That's neat.
Very cool. So what are you going to be doing exactly at Denver Comic Con? Are you just going to be signing copies of your book? Are you going to do commissioned work? What are you going to be doing?
What I want to do is I've got issue 1 and 2 selling there. Then I am also going to be selling original art sketch cards that I've been working on since the last Denver Comic Con. I was inspired by a couple guys I met there. James Buckshot Bukakis from Florida. Him and I made a connection after one of the panels, and he's a sketch card artist. He draws 2.5 by 3.5 inch cards, and they're really cool. All of them are original art, and I've been drawing. I've got about 60 of them finished now. I hope to have a little bit more by Comic-Con, but I will want to do commissions on those as well. So if anybody wants one, they can stop by my booth and pick a character, tell me what you want, and I'll draw it out for you. I'm also selling prints that I did of the Joker, based on the death of the family arc recently with the Joker. It was kind of an original print I did of him just blowing up a bomb behind him, and it's very pop art looking. It's very bright colors, solid black lines, thick. He's not even reacting to the explosion behind him, and the only sound in the poster is the little beep of his clicker that he's detonating the bomb with.
That sounds cool.
So that's the version of the Joker with his face cut off?
Exactly, yeah. He's got the belt tied behind his head and everything, and it's dripping down the top, showing a little
Oh, that's gross.
brain.
You think that's gross? You should see some of these panels with severed heads and guys getting kicked in the nuts.
That's what I was going for.
I like it. Guys on fire. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
Is there a place online we can like you on Facebook, or is there a place people can buy your comic online? Or anything?
Yeah, actually, I have pretty good news. You can buy a printed version of the comic from linescience.com.
Cool.
LINESCIENCE.com.
Should we give the mic to the editor?
Probably. And I'll ship one out anywhere in the United States or Canada. I also just got news this week that I got accepted to be sold into the Comixology store. So you'll be able to buy my comic digitally, to be announced. They haven't given me a date yet, but they did send me a letter of acceptance. So I'm super psyched about that. That's
awesome.
huge.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a big one.
And this is your first year at DCC doing art?
Yeah, I stopped by last year. I paid at the door, which was a huge mistake because I had to wait in line for an hour just to get into the convention. But it was well worth it. I had such a blast there. I went to Starfest last year, went to Denver Comic Con, and I fell in love with it. And even though I had a book out at the time, I didn't know if I was ready or not. I made a connection with a few guys there and talked to them about what I was working on. They gave me a lot of tips and definitely pointed me in the right direction. And this year, I feel very confident to be there.
Cool.
Very cool.
And that's really what it's about.
Yeah, and hey, when you're at Denver Comic Con, you got to come by our booth and talk to us too, because we'll have a booth there recording.
Wait, we're gonna be at Denver Comic Con? No.
Yeah, and then you can give us an update. I can't wait to see your Joker print. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really
I love that Joker. That's a cool version of him. So excited. Well, thank you, Joshua. That was awesome, and thanks for reaching out to us.
Yeah,
I love getting
definitely.
emails like that. That's so cool, and thanks for the comic books.
Yeah,
I love
My
comments.
pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Fan mail.
So not much fan mail this week. We got a little note from James's cousin, Kara, and she said, the people that listen to 90s music are old. Come on, cuz.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. I thought you meant a phone call.
No, we're not that cool this week.
Well, she's like 30 years older than me, so she's always telling me about how old people are.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Also, the way I said it was, what I was saying was that old people at night are listening to old rock and 90s music. Anyway, it's no big deal.
So yeah, thanks. At least we got one shout out.
Yeah, somebody's.
We got a lot of new likes though on our Facebook page.
We did.
So thank you for everybody who liked us.
Yeah, and we placed the orders for the shirts this week. Thank you to anybody and everybody who bought a shirt or looked at the shirts or thought about shirts. That was really awesome. We went to this place in Denver called Indie Inc. and Naya there helped us out. Worked with us and got everything looking really cool, and so they're going to work out really great. That place is awesome, and everybody there is really friendly. So if you are in Denver and you have need for shirts, totally go to them.
Yeah, they're awesome. We used them last year.
Yeah, and all of our shirts from last year are still holding up and everything like that. They're not getting those cracks and stuff in the images, and we wear them every week, and I wash it every week. So going to movies makes me sweat.
And you can also look forward to some posters.
That's right.
Yeah,
Designed by Brad.
Yeah, for those people who donated at a higher level, which was actually quite a few people.
Quite a few people, yeah.
Yeah, so we really appreciate it.
Very limited run of posters, but yeah.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time on those.
So are
They're
you the only
really
one who's
awesome.
signing the posters?
You can sign them if you want.
Oh, no. I mean, just in your post, it sounded like, I'm signing these posters.
I limited it to me just to make it sound like more like I did them.
Yeah, I got you.
Just
So,
Brad.
But no, technically, for the ones that we're shipping or that we're giving away to people, all three of us are supposed to sign them. That's what I promised.
Yep.
And personalize them. We're going to say thank you to the people who
very
gave us
cool.
money. Yeah.
See, if you guys
Because
would actually talk to me about this stuff, I know what the fuck's going on.
hey, how are those polos coming, man?
Well, great.
Anyway, so that's the mail.
Yeah, it's the mail.
Cool.
Nothing that cool.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I guess no one is upset by our negative review of Great Gatsby, I guess,
Yeah.
Or the Gay
Yeah.
Gatsby.
as I called it. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Or nobody listened to the episode because halfway through they were like, "These guys are tired." Well, we were.
Yeah. What's
It's
this Leonard
true.
Maltin game? This is stupid.
I just do. It's
No.
good.
It was cool.
You liked it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better when all the dead air's cut out, right?
Exactly. When it moves. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're only supposed to play 2 rounds, and you're supposed to have, theme categories like Tom Cruise. Which would you think would that be about?
What are you thinking of a movie now with Tom Cruise in it?
No, I'm saying like
Risky Business.
you're supposed to have theme categories for the game. So
Oh, I see.
if one of the categories is called Tom Cruise, what would you think
Born on the 4th of
the
July.
movies would be?
Yeah.
Nope, they're movies where Tom Hanks is on a boat.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
What's next?
Oh, dude, we've watched so much shit this week.
Yeah.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
So I saw some things this week that might pique people's interests. The first thing I saw was is Hit and Run, which is a movie with Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty funny.
Cool.
It
It was
was
one of those
fun.
little comedies that snuck under the radar. And
Yeah, Dax Shepard plays a guy who's in witness protection because he used to be a getaway driver for Bradley Cooper's bank robbing partner guy thing. And so it's basically just a movie where him and Kristen Bell are riffing off each other in a car. It's pretty funny.
yeah, that's not bad.
And Tom Arnold's pretty funny in it. There's a scene where he's actually a U.S. Marshal assigned to protect Dax Shepard's character, and he's an idiot, and he's driving his minivan, and he gets out of it to talk on the phone, and the minivan starts rolling away, and he starts trying to shoot out the tires with these kids playing in the front yard. Almost shoots the kids. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
Whatever. I got it for $1 at Tradesmart. Who cares? So
Are you waiting with bated breath for Hit and Run 2?
I am, just because, and you know what I love? There's a shot at the beginning. It's just Kristen Bell's eyes, and they're beautiful.
Aww, and they're not crooked at all?
No, not at
Yeah,
all.
Fuck you, Brad.
Bringing Kristen Bell down, you motherfucker.
I stand by my opinion.
She's so pretty. And she's
pretty.
so nice.
I'm saying one of her eyes. It's all Shannon Doherty.
Whoa.
That is
It's not Shannon Doherty. How dare you?
Man,
I'm going to screen cap some Party Down stills, and I'll show you.
I'm actually cool with that. I'll watch as much Party Down as you make me.
I also, about a month ago, Brad posted on his Facebook page about the next movie that he's going to love that me and James are going to hate. And it's a movie
Yeah.
called Manborg. My local Blockbuster Video, probably the only local one left in the world,
Yeah.
has it for rent.
Oh, lucky.
So
Man.
I went and rented it. And I did not know that Manborg is made by the same guys who made Father's Day until I saw the Astron 6 kind of logo.
Oh, and it's got some of the same actors, too.
Oh, yeah. All the actors are the same.
Oh, no.
But I will say this about this movie. It's actually pretty funny.
Dude.
So when there's not man rape involved, it's
And
easier to
dick eating?
swallow.
So is it exactly like Father's Day, but without the dick eating?
It's funnier. And,
Cool.
I mean, because they have...
Wait, you didn't confirm the no dick eating.
There is no dick eating in it.
All right, cool. I'm in.
Dick eating's hilarious.
There's no nudity either. I don't remember.
Oh, now I'm out.
It's basically these guys in front of a green screen, and it takes place in the future where hell has taken over Earth. And the beginning is, I forget the guy's name for who's the lead character in it. But him and his brother are on the front lines, and they're killing all these monsters. And then his brother is killed, and from Lord Draculon. But his brother's voice is dubbed to like a normal like Marine guy's voice. So the one guy talks normal, and the other, his brother, says stuff like "You killing me out here, son," and it's his brother, and his brother got shot, and the bad guys are closing in, and he's like, "I'm not gonna leave you, brother." And he says, "You have to leave me. I'm not leaving you, brother. That's an order. Okay, sir." And he gets up and runs away. And then when he dies and he comes back as Manborg, he gets captured in this arena, and he's put in there, and the martial arts guy whose voice is also dubbed, and he talks like this. He says, "Who are you?" And he looks at his human hand. He goes, "Man." And then he looks at his robot hand and goes, "Borg." In this really horrible, dramatic pause. And they all play these characters. And there's this really funny guy who's one of the bad guys. His name's the Baron. He has a huge crush on one of the prisoners. The effects are really corny. Brad, you don't have to wait for Blu-ray on this because it's shot so poorly that I think Blu-ray would make it worse. But yeah, and they have like a lot of stop motion monsters in it. They shoot things and intestines fly out.
Are the stop motion monsters like kind of, if not impressive, like fun?
They're not impressive, but they're purposely cheesy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. And then the guy who directed Father's Day is this British rock Australian guy. He looks like Billy Idol. I don't know if his accent's horrible, but I think it's on purpose. And there's a part where they're driving through like the wasteland that used to be America, and he's like, "Oh my God, there's so many burger wrappers blowing all over the place." It's so dumb, but it's still pretty funny.
That's
And make sure you watch after the trailer because they have like a 15-minute, maybe not even that long, maybe 10-minute long trailer for a thing called BioCop, and it's this cop who is like disintegrating. And he can't die, and the whole time he keeps on telling me, he's like, "Please kill me," and he's like throwing up like blood and eyeballs and stuff. And
so it's like The Fly if The Fly were trying to fight crime.
And it's really dorky and it's really violent. And there's a part where he's shooting this dude in the head over and over again, and it keeps on blowing off more pieces of this dude's head. It's basically trauma. It's pretty funny though.
Huh?
So,
cool.
You know, the best part of it is these guys know what they're making, and they know it's stupid.
Yeah. But at least in this case, they're not like trying to be so over the top and like gross out that it's not getting in its own way.
Exactly.
For some of us, Brad, it's okay.
Yeah, and it's like 72 minutes. It's really short.
Oh wow!
It's barely like a feature-length movie. I also, me and Brad watched the series finale of The Office. It was really good.
I was trying to catch up, but I have not quite seen it yet. You go ahead and talk about it.
It's fun. Basically, what's really creative about it is everybody knows that they're shooting the documentary, and the series finale picks up a year after they shot the documentary.
So
and so everybody's
after they aired the first
aired it, so everybody's in a different place. The cold opening was really great, where Dwight was firing people, and everybody who got a cake was fired.
Yeah. Well, Stanley got one for retiring.
Oh yeah, Stanley got one for retiring, but he gave one to Kevin, and Kevin is crying, and he's eating the cake with his hand. He says, "Well, at least it's chocolate." It's great.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Well, you can't fire Kevin." Like,
yeah.
Like, Toby, tell him they can't fire Kevin. And he's like, I guess, can't really do that. And then he gets handed a cake, too. Hold on, Toby.
Yeah.
And Kevin's cake has, like, "You're fired" written out on it in icing. And then Toby's is blank. And then, like, Dwight comes over and just, like, sprays randomly. Doesn't, like, give him a nice,
Everybody picks on Toby. It's great. And so they just pick up, and they basically tie up everybody's kind of stories. Angela and Dwight have a wedding. And Jim is the best man. It's like
bestest mention.
Yeah, bestest mention.
And he has Gudenpranken.
Yeah, it's Gudenpranken. So he basically but the whole thing is Jim is playing pranks on Dwight throughout the whole
But they're not mean pranks.
They're not mean pranks. It's just
they're celebratory pranks.
Yeah, like a stripper at the restaurant that Dwight thinks is a real waitress, and she's horrible. It's just a really cute episode. Everybody has. I mean, Kelly comes back, and
Kelly and Ryan come back.
And Ryan has a baby
from a girl he was staying with who like left him with it,
and then by the end of the episode, Ryan abandons the baby to run away with Kelly.
But the baby gets falls into Nellie's arms because that's been her whole thing. She's always wanted a baby.
Yeah.
She's been trying to adopt,
and
this is her chance to. So she takes this.
And Kevin.
There's
runs
a lot of themes
bar.
of like abandonment and like adoption in the show because Erin, like she was an orphan and she finds her parents at the end of the episode.
Yeah, Joan Cusack and Ed Begley Jr.
Yeah.
But Kevin runs a bar now, and he turns around and is talking to Dwight, and that was Jim's prank, is he wanted Dwight and Kevin to bury the hatchet so Kevin could come to his wedding. And Dwight goes on this long thing where he says, "It's not that you're a bad person, Kevin. You're just really horrible at your job. It's nothing personal."
And Kevin's like, really?
Yeah, Kevin's all excited and hugs him, and it's great. And then there's we'll spoil it for you, James, because we don't
Does
care.
Michael show up?
So there's a part at the end where Dwight is getting ready with Jim, and Jim says, "I can't be your whatever it is,
best man."
Yeah, best man.
Because according to like Mennonite law, I have to be older than you.
Yeah, he has to be older, much older.
Yeah.
And he says, and I can't help you. And he says, "Best prank ever." And you look over, and then Michael's standing in the door. And Dwight says, "Michael, I didn't think you were coming." And Michael starts crying and goes, "That's what she said." and just starts crying. And Michael, what's great about the Michael bit is he's in the episode, but he doesn't take away from the episode.
Yeah.
He doesn't steal the show.
He doesn't steal the show. He's in like 3 scenes. He's in that one. He's in a scene where he's showing all the pictures of his babies, where they have a voiceover. Was it with Pam? And she says Michael had to buy a second phone because he had so many pictures of his baby and pay a second line for it. And
she says he's so happy to have a family plan, which is like a clever.
And then they do this little cutaway to Michael, and he says, "Look at all. It's like I had all these kids. These kids got married together and grew up and had kids of their own." But it's just something dumb that he says. It's a great episode.
It's everything a father could ever want.
Yeah, everything a father could ever want is his kids to marry each other. It's just a great episode, and Mose is really funny in it.
Mose has this. So during Dwight and Angela's wedding, they have all these like close-ups on like all the couples.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a cut to Mose, and then he turns his head, and it like cuts across the way to the field where there's a scarecrow, a female scarecrow. It's just great. He probably bangs that scarecrow.
It's too bad because the
and him kidnapping Angela, leaving her in the trunk.
The reason I didn't get a chance to see it was because I was a couple episodes behind, and so when it aired, I was like, oh crap, that was this week. So I've been trying to catch up. And what I've realized watching the episodes leading up to it is that because they were ending, like they started getting a little bit more cartoony and stuff like that. And I've really been enjoying those episodes leading up to it, like in a way that I wasn't enjoying some of the previous ones, like the episode where they drug Stanley and drag him to a sales meeting. Like it felt like they were definitely having fun building up to the end of it again. So I'm excited to go. Even knowing what happens, I'm excited to go watch it.
What the sad thing is, as reading the ratings for it, 5.7 million people watched it. Yeah. You're like, oh man, that sucks for a series finale. Well, that doesn't mean it's the highest rated episode of their season, but I mean,
it wasn't going to be MASH. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, nothing is, or Friends, but
yeah,
still kind of a bummer. I wish more people saw it because it was a really great episode, and it was really great how it went out.
Well, most people found the show like downloading it from iTunes, what I heard. So maybe people will find the ending.
Hopefully, they deserve to because it's a really good ending. It really is.
Oh yeah, it was really sweet. Like, there's nothing I was like, oh, that was a missed opportunity or nothing. Mm-hmm. It was like really, and I forgot to talk about Creed.
Oh yeah, Creed. Fucking guy.
I'll let you have that.
All
right.
Surprise
for you.
All right.
The last thing I watched is something James has been begging me to watch for years now.
I'm really excited.
And it's a television cable show called Archer. It's about this animated Secret Service guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I
was gonna roll with that one. I was like, oh, you watched Archer? Cool.
It is on FX.
Yeah.
It's a show called Justified, starring Timothy Olyfantastic.
Yeah.
Were you justified in watching it?
It was a good show. I liked it a lot. I'll probably watch the other seasons because they are available. It's funnier than I thought it would be.
Yep.
And there's some great moments. I never thought Timothy Olyphant was that great of an actor. I really like him in Deadwood. But he's really good in the show.
And this character is very much that character from Deadwood.
Yeah,
like,
it's basically
he's still that cowboy.
Yeah,
you know?
but I mean, there's a couple scenes early on, where he's talking to the, actually the opening scene was really badass.
Yeah,
where he's this U.S. Marshal and he's in Miami, and this guy is horrible, and he sits down and he says, "I gave you 24 hours to get out of town, and now you have 10 minutes." And so they have this really great exchange, and he says, "What happens if you're just going to shoot me? You're just going to shoot me?" And he shoots him. It's awesome. And then he goes into.
He kind of cons the guy into pulling on him so he can shoot him.
Yeah,
and that's where the title comes from because he's like, "Oh, it's justified."
Yeah, it's justified.
Even though it's dirty.
And then there was a couple other scenes. I love the scene where he met up with his friend again at his friend's Church of White Supremacy. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, Boyd Crowder.
Yeah, he's sitting down and he's talking to him, and it's just a great exchange with the characters. Again, it might be the first episode too, man. The first episode is really strong.
The first episode is
he comes out because his brother's White Crowder's wife killed his brother, and now White Crowder wants that lady, and Timothy Olyphant's character shows up there, Raylan, and he shows up there, and his henchman shows up.
Dewey Crow.
And he shows up, and he's going to shoot him, and he kicks the shit out of him before he can shoot him.
So good. Oh, man.
The show's pretty, and it's funny. And I was surprised how much I liked it, and it kind of gave you a little bit of who he was before with his girlfriend, and he snuck into her house, and It's just a really cool show.
And the first season struggles a little because in the original script, in the original script for the first episode, which I still think is a beautiful script. It's sort of the short story that the show is based on, where the beginning is mirrored by the end. I can say that without spoiling it too much for the first episode of a show.
Oh yeah, I was actually shocked with the ending.
Yeah, and then that character is supposed to die in the original script, and then because he was so good, they wanted to keep him on, and so the rest of the season suffers, I think, a little bit from them sort of trying to figure out what to do with him, and he becomes a really strong character. But the other thing is that my favorite moment of the show probably ever, and a defining moment, is that first episode's ending where he goes to meet his ex-wife. And you don't even really know who she is. They've just talked about her the whole episode, and you meet her and you're like, oh, okay. And at the end, he's telling the story of who that guy at the beginning was and why he did what he did, and she sort of laughs, and he's like, what? And he says something like, I never thought I was a very angry man. And the show ends with her laughing, and she says, Raylan, you do a really good job of hiding it, but you are the angriest man I have ever known. And he just he looks puzzled, and he thinks about it, and then the show ends. And that is the question that defines the show, especially going into like season 4. That is everything they are exploring. And it's really interesting. He's a fantastic character, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like every episode can just be. You saw the Hitler's episode?
Oh yeah,
man, that episode is really cool.
Yeah, it's one of those shows. It's funny because they're 48 minutes long, but they go by really fast.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd watch like 4 episodes before I realized I watched 4 episodes.
Yeah,
because there's also that moment too where I think it's the second episode where she says, yeah, you gotta stop showing up at my house like that. You're scaring the shit out of my husband.
Yeah. Oh man.
So it's just fun. So I'll probably watch the rest of them.
Cool. Yeah, I'll bring you the rest of the Blu-rays because they're.
Yeah, I don't want to stream them. So whenever.
No. And season two. By the end of season 2, you'll see why I say it's the best show on television. Because, or at least you'll see why I say that. Because season 2 is so strong. So good. I'm glad you really liked it.
No, I liked it. It was cool. I mean, I knew it was a good show. I just, giving you a hard time. Brad, what'd you watch this week?
Mostly the Office finale, which again, exceptional. And then I watched Universal Soldier: Day of Reckoning.
What? Which Universal Soldier is that?
I think it's the 4th one that's like straight to streaming.
One.
Yeah, it's the newest
4
one.
Of them.
Yeah. There's maybe.
Is it? I don't know. This is the 4th one because it's.
There's one from like 91.
And then there's 2 and 3. I think it's the 4th one. I think you're right.
3's the return one, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Is the first
90s.
one older than 91?
No, I think
it's 91.
It's like 92, 91.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying the sequel was 91.
Roland Emmerich, Dean Devlin, like pre-Stargate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. For this one, which I didn't pay attention to the credits. I don't think either of them are involved in it. It was quite boring.
Really? I heard it was so over the top it was awesome.
It is over the top, and the fight sequences are pretty badass, but everything in between that tries to build a story is just like I considered turning it off.
Wow.
But I stuck with it because I was working on the poster and everything. So I was like, it's on the background. It's not a big deal. Maybe something cool will show up. And there's cool fight sequences. There's like an axe fight. And they when they're in a fight sequence, they break everything in the room. This guy punches a bowling ball and it just turns to dust. Like the one guy throws a baseball bat at him. He catches it and throws it back at him. It's pretty sweet.
So I don't remember the rules of Universal Soldiers.
I don't either. But from this movie, it's basically like there's a bunch of them and they get turned on randomly.
I remember them being hooked up to something in like the back of a truck in the first one. I barely
remember
the
are they
original
robots
at all.
or are they just? I thought they were just like genetically enhanced.
I think they're genetically enhanced. Again, I don't remember the original that much. I'm just going by what I learned from this movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme is in it, and Dolph Lundgren both. I think they were working together. There's like a rogue. I thought they were like one was a hero and one was a bad guy in the original.
Yeah,
but this one they're like
Van Damme's a good he's the good guy in the original, and Dolph Lundgren's character is like the rogue one.
Yeah, I don't know if these guys are clones or they're the characters from that movie. I don't know. Most of the movie doesn't revolve around them. They're just like side villains. It looks like the main focus of the movie is it starts out. It's all in like this point of view shot of this character. He's sleeping. His daughter shows up he wakes up to his daughter. She's standing out in the hallway like, Daddy, there's monsters in the house. He's like, yeah, whatever. Go back to bed. He gets up, and like again, it's like all from his eyes, right? So he looks at his wife. She's sleeping. He goes downstairs, goes to the kitchen, makes something. Then he goes to another room, parts the door open, and there's like 4 masked guys standing there waiting for him. And they kick the shit out of him, and then like one of the guy rips off his mask, and that's Jean-Claude Van Damme, whatever character he was. And then, so like just this one guy with a crowbar just beats the hell out of him, again, still from this guy's point of view. And then he like gets up from the ground, looks over, they pull his wife down the stairs, pulls his kid down the stairs, and then like after an exchange, like shoots his wife in the head, her brains go all over the wall. And then they shoot the kid in the head.
Oh my god!
But it cuts to black, like as the gun fires for the kid.
Yeah.
But later on, they show it anyway.
What?
In the movie?
Wow.
Like, oh, that's fucked up. Yeah. So he wakes up in the hospital. He didn't die, and then from then on out, it's not from his eyes anymore. But he's just on a quest to like track down Jean-Claude Van Damme. And meanwhile, there's like a couple other like triggered like Universal soldiers. Like this one guy was like a plumber, so he's in the middle of this plumbing job, and all of a sudden like something snaps in his head, and he just kind of gets up and walks out. And then the next scene, he shows up at a strip club or like a brothel, and just starts blowing away everyone inside the brothel. And then Dolph Lundgren's at the end of the hall in that one room, and then Dolph Lundgren injects him, like tricks him and injects him with some kind of serum that like turns him into his control.
This sounds like a complete mess.
Yeah, it is a mess. Like I could not. Then
it's a bummer too, because they sold it like they were like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren were returning to this.
Yeah, they're barely in it. Like there's maybe 3 or 4 scenes with them. Jean-Claude Van Damme is like creepy in it.
I'm surprised by how disappointed you are in Universal Soldier 4.
4, yeah. Like he had amazing.
They told me this
expectations
one
for
was
it.
going to be great again.
But yeah, the scenes where they're like breaking tons of shit and shooting things, and like the brothel, there's tons of naked chicks in it, so you like it for that. But other than that, like the story wise, it's just like, what is going on? Like, yeah, and later on he falls, like he gets captured, but they don't just kill him, and he fights Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Jean-Claude like suddenly has his face painted half white on the top, half black on the bottom, and they're fighting each other.
Because he did drugs on set.
Yeah, it's almost like he's playing Marlon Brando from Apocalypse Now.
I'm sure that sounds exactly like something he would say. Like, have you ever seen Apocalypse Now? I don't know why I did my Schwarzenegger voice.
Yeah,
whatever.
Anyway, yeah, if you just want to see action and naked chicks, probably worth your while. But you have to sit through just god awful. Like, what is the story? Who cares? I do not care what this guy's quest
I'm
is.
bummed about that because I remember reading reviews of it. They say it's so violent, over the top. It's awesome. But
it's violent. Like the guy. Also, I guess Universal soldiers like regenerate their body parts. So, like the main guy gets his fingers cut off, but by the end of the movie, they're back.
Are they? Yeah. Do they regenerate it, or they just forget that continuity?
Yeah. No, there's scenes where they're sitting there like unwrapping the things, and like it's all like meshed together, like they're growing back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like the script supervisor just didn't show up for work.
Yeah. The first scene, like the one guy got his toes cut off, like the guy who's chasing him the whole time, and it's like this melted together skin thing. I was like, that doesn't look like his toes got cut off. And then later in the movie, you figure out that they regenerate.
Yeah. Well, if you were a real fan of Universal Soldier, you would have known that and understood what they were trying to tell you.
Yep. Yep. True. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. James, what did you watch?
Well, I'm going to start with, because Ryan was doing me a favor of finally watching Justified, I thought, well, how can I pay him back? Or in a way, pay myself back the way that he is doing himself a favor of watching that show. So, the Dick Van Dyke Show is on Netflix.
Yeah, he did.
So I started watching the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Very kind of paying me back too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Like this is one of those things that you guys have been talking about for years, as we've been doing this, and I've always been sort of on the outside, and I was like, hey, I gotta watch that. I'm only like 6 or 7 episodes in, partially because I'm sort of watching them like as I get ready for bed and as I go to sleep. So some of them I fall asleep and then watch the rest when I wake up in the morning. But it's really good and surprising how well it holds up. Like, yeah. Like and a lot of that has to do with, and I'm gonna get to my big question in a minute. A lot of that has to do with just how charming Dick Van Dyke is. Like, just watch it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the stories that they're telling are cliche archetypes that now, however many years later, have been in every sitcom ever, where like, oh, this is the episode where, hey, I brought home a dog, and the wife doesn't like that I brought home a dog, But the scenes are so funny, and the way that those characters are portrayed is great.
And they get better, actually.
Yeah,
it's a shame you're only 7 episodes in.
Yeah,
this show gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
Cool, I'm excited.
They actually almost got canceled after that first season.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
How many episodes are there total?
157.
Oh no, I've got a lot of work.
5 seasons of like 20 each, I think.
No, there's like 36 episodes in each season, I think.
36?
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, can you explain to me the Carl Reiner show? And let me explain for people who haven't watched. Let me get through.
Oh yeah, they have that episode
for people
on
who
there.
haven't watched the Dick Van Dyke Show. Episode 6 is titled The Carl Reiner Show, and it's not very good. Mostly because I like Carl Reiner, but it's the same show, but it's recast with completely different people. The names are similar, but Carl Reiner plays the Dick Van Dyke part, and he's nowhere near as charismatic. It actually made me realize some of the things that I like about the show so much because of how inverted that episode was. So what's the story?
Okay, we got a story for you.
On the DVDs, that's a bonus feature. That episode's not in the regular episode guide.
Really?
Of the DVDs. And that is actually the pilot for the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be something like that, but it's episode 6 on Netflix.
Yeah, that's weird because originally he shot that, and who was his producer? Max Calvada? Sheldon Leonard.
Sheldon
Leonard said, Carl, you have a great show, but there's one big problem with the show. And he said, what? He says, you cannot be the lead in this show.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he cast Dick Van Dyke. And then they reshot the pilot with Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore. So the pilot is
similar.
Similar with their kid who's sick.
Yeah.
And so that's not
well, but the Dick Van Dyke, the Carl Reiner episode is that his son doesn't like him, so he takes his son to work. Yeah, and so because I didn't know what was going on, I thought it was a mid-season episode. I'm watching, and when he goes to, there's a scene where he goes to meet his boss, and of course his boss is a huge dick. I was like, oh, it's gonna be Dick Van Dyke. That's gonna be the joke. Instead of being Carl Reiner, it'll be Dick Van Dyke. And no, it wasn't. Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore never show up at all. And I was like, it was like
weird.
A Twilight Zone episode.
It's called Head of the Family, right?
Yeah, Head of the Family.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah,
that's weird that it's the 6th episode in that.
Yeah, that's a weird.
It really threw me off. And so I hit it and I was like, what is going on?
But Carl Reiner is amazing in the show as Alan Brady.
No, I've only seen little bits of him, but like I said, I like Carl Reiner. That episode is just sunk because he just does nothing.
When you start getting into seasons 4 and 5, he starts showing up a lot more.
Yeah, in season 1, he's just I think
for the first 3
his back
seasons,
is always to the camera. Yeah,
I think for the first 3 seasons you never see him, and then season 4, I think you see him for the first time in that, because even that Christmas special, that Alan Brady, I think he's wearing a Santa costume the whole time.
Yeah,
so you never really see him. And Coast to Coast Big Mouth is, of course, the really
the
great
breakout one.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, the show's amazing, and you're right. It's stuff you've known, but it's played so well that
everything you know is based off of that.
I mean, the show's 50 years old, so
and yet it's doing it better than any of that stuff ever did.
And they're
partially because it's the scripts are so lean, there's so little to the plot itself that the scenes really are just some fun banter between these characters between these actors who are so charismatic that they could carry any show.
Oh yeah, there's that.
If you saw the script, it's probably scene 1, kitchen, scene 2, living room.
Yeah,
the show's over. Yeah, it's just 2.
And there's that. I think it's the first episode where they go to that party that Alan Brady's having.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And where they all kind of do their own little thing.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. There's like a skit in the middle. Where, and that threw me off at first. At first, I was worried because I was like, whoa, why is there a song and dance in the middle of this?
But then you see Dick Van Dyke do vaudeville, and you're like, this guy's freaking amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
When he's acting drunk, oh man, I love it.
And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, okay, well, this is the first episode. They're trying to show off, hey, this is what we can do here. You should stick around.
Every once in a while, they do episodes where they all sing and dance.
Yeah.
But it really fits in. I think it's How We Danced the Night We Met, where with him and Mary Tyler Moore. It's amazing.
It is.
They have bits like that because back in those days, variety TV was a lot more prevalent. So
But yeah, the show's amazing.
It is really good. I'm really excited. I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad you're finally watching it.
Yeah,
It gets better.
So I'll bring it every now and then when I watch an episode that's really great. I'll bring it.
I
up
think
again.
season 2 is probably the best season.
Probably.
Of the show.
Yeah.
Oh man, cool. I'm excited. I also started watching the show. AMC started a show called Rectify, which I didn't start when it first started because I thought, well, they're clearly trying to get their own Justified because the name was similar and the way they were doing the ads. The way they were doing the ads was very much Justified. Like it really
wrecked them.
Damn near killed him.
What Rectify is though is about. What Rectify actually is though is about this guy who he gets out of jail on like a weird sort of DNA technicality. They find some DNA that sort of proves that like they have to readdress his case, and his case is that they convicted him for life for the rape and murder of this young woman, and some of his family doesn't believe he did it, some of them clearly do, but they don't come straight out and say he didn't do it, but there is clearly some kind of conspiracy going on. People are talking in behind closed doors, and at the end of the first episode, a guy kills himself because he knew the truth. And the acting is good, and it seems interesting. I'm probably gonna try to watch the next few episodes or so, give it a little longer shot. But it seems a little bit like a little bit predictable, if that makes sense.
Is he trying to rectify a situation?
Yeah, he probably is. Yeah, he's gonna probably rectify something eventually. But I don't know. And part of it is the main character. The actor's really good. I can't remember his name now, but he's playing a guy who's been in jail for I think it's 10 years, something like that. Like it's been a while. Like he has to be shown how to use a computer and things like that. Like he's really out of it, which is crazy because of course in jail they have computers. But anyway, but he's playing this character who's very much inside of himself and closed off from the world because he's been in jail. Now I can't remember. I don't think I've got it pulled up, but
I thought it may be someone kind of big because
no, it's a. Let's see. Now I've got it right. Aiden Young plays Daniel Holden. Oh wait, no, is that the guy? Yeah, that's the guy. But he's just so closed off that I never get to necessarily like him. Like there's one little scene in the first episode where he's having fun with his like nephew, and he sort of smiles a little bit, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. You're starting to open up again, but you're making me work so hard to like this character that it just makes me not get invested as well. But
that's hard when you watch a show and the main character is not cool,
And that's a shame because of course they're trying to tell an interesting story and have this character that has got these problems, and there's a good reason for that. That's admirable, but it just makes it really hard on your audience. But yeah, I'm gonna keep checking it out. Maybe it'll turn into an amazing show. And then I rewatched the original Star Trek. Oh, we forgot about something.
The original Star Trek?
No, Star Trek. Sorry, Star Trek 1, Star Trek 2009, and that movie's good. Kitchen Nightmares. I haven't watched Kitchen Nightmares in a long time, and then of course it blew up on the internet this week because there was this episode where Gordon Ramsay straight up gives up on some people. Like, and he's never done that. I think he says in the episode, he's done 100 episods or 100 restaurants.
This is the first time I didn't believe in somebody to help him.
Such a shame.
Damn shame.
Yeah. And it's television gold.
It is.
Like it's the stuff that reality TV lives for and thrives on because like the people in this episode are so messed up and delusional, and it's a train wreck that you can't stop watching.
Yeah, because you watch it, and these people are like yelling at customers that they have to pay and that the food's good. They're just stupid, and it's really crazy.
Where's this place?
Arizona. It's called Amy's Baking Company.
Yeah.
And,
ABC.
And Gordon goes there, and he's like, wow, this place is really clean. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, come see our walk-in, because that's his big thing. He goes in them a lot, and the walk-ins are all fucked up. And it's like, yeah, no wonder you don't have customers. You have mold growing in your walk-in.
Yeah, no wonder your food tastes bad.
And he went in there and was like, wow, it's so clean. Everything's labeled. I love it. And they sat down and gave him some cake. He's like, your cake is so good. I love this cake. And if everything tastes as good as this cake, we'll try to figure something out. And then when he goes there, he always orders, lots of things, 'cause he wants to try everything on the menu. And they brought out his pizza, and the pizza was totally undercooked.
Yeah.
And they had weird, like, figs and pears and weird things on this pizza. And he was just saying, these ingredients don't go together, and you have it's doughy and gross.
Yeah, it's not cooked right, and yeah.
And then she's like, okay, I guess he knows what he's doing. I guess he knows what he's doing. And it's just so weird.
Oh, she's a crazy. At one point, she talks about. Unfortunately, I thought about your wife. At one point, she talks about how she speaks cat, and then she speaks cat.
Yeah, to him. He goes, meow, 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 meow.
Yeah,
and it's so funny. I love when they like show Gordon's reactions to it because he always like his eyes go really big and then he shakes his head like these guys are fucking nuts.
Yeah, and then like in the very first night that they're filming there, like there's a guy who never gets his food. Like orders food and it never comes, and he's been there for an hour and a half, and finally he's like, I'm leaving. And the guy's like, no, your food's done now. It's done now. And he's like, I don't care. I've been waiting an hour and a half. I'm gone. And he's like, no, you can't. You have to pay before you go. Like, you can't just walk out. Like, you got to pay for this food. And they end up calling the cops on this guy, and you're like, this is insane. Like, it almost feels like some kind of publicity stunt, but the most poorly thought out publicity stunt, you know.
Like I said, I couldn't believe it too. But I went on Google reviews, and the Google reviews people from like 2 years ago were saying that they would yell at people, and he couldn't help them.
Man,
and so Ramsey, like, what was the breaking point?
He basically said, I can change a menu, I can change decor, but I can't change people who don't want to change. So I guess this is over.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I guess this is over. I guess it is over. And she like walks in the back, and oh my gosh, and he just leaves.
I mean, like, talking to the people was so difficult, because she would get so over dramatic on everything and wouldn't listen to anything he was saying and wouldn't accept the truth that things weren't right. That at a certain point it was like it wasn't like that he did something and she went crazy on him, or like there wasn't a big breaking point like I think you're looking for. It was simply that after talking to these people and talking to them and nothing was happening and he couldn't go anywhere with it, he was like, okay.
So they didn't even get to like the second stage where
no, like he didn't redecorate.
He did one dinner service with them.
Yeah.
So he ordered the food, tried it all out, and that was it?
No, he ordered the food and then he was there for a night while they were doing service.
Then she fired that one girl for saying, she says, this goes to like table 4. She says, are you sure?
Oh, well, we haven't talked about the fact that the waiters don't get tips.
Yeah.
The tips all go to the owner. The waiters are paid hourly. And he during that first service, when he realized it, and obviously in Europe they don't do tips at all. It's really offensive there, but he knows how important it is here, and he brings it up, and he says to one of the customers, he's like, do you realize that the tip you just gave your waitress is going to this guy and not the waitress? And that guy gets furious, and then like, man, it's just insane.
Yeah, even Ramsey, when he was leaving, he gave a tip to the
Yeah.
He's like, this is for you, darling. Don't give it to that.
This is only for you. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, and then they were saying like their turnaround is 100 people in a year.
Fired 100 people in a year or something. It's crazy.
How are they still in business?
I don't know. They won the lottery.
Some sort of millionaire or something.
Yeah,
to keep it going.
That's why she married him. That's why she was like, God brought me this guy with so much money.
Because they didn't even get into how much money they're losing a week or anything. So.
And I did watch online like some like news segments where they went there and were like, there are these old ladies who they got some brunch there and they said it was delicious. So clearly Gordon Ramsay's wrong. And I'm like, no, I can look in that woman's eyes. She's got the crazy eyes. Yeah. Like that woman is not stable.
Yeah, not all the. I mean, there was something like 100 and something reviews, and I was just like glancing through them, and not everybody said it was horrible, but
yeah,
when you get a 9 out of 30,
yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Average score.
That was just crazy. Television's good.
It is every once in a while. I do love me some Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should see what's number 1 at the box office last week.
This is the box office stats.
Surprise, guys, is Iron Man, $72 million.
Yeah, so Great Gatsby
Great Gatsby actually made $50 million. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's like Brooklyn, Jackie Robinson.
I'm really interested to see what it does next week. See what the word of mouth is. If it drops, 4 slots next week, ugh.
Yeah, the word of mouth isn't good. I think it got like a C+ from Cinescore, which is the people that go there and they review it.
Yeah.
So that's not good.
Well, it's not a very good movie.
It is not.
I was able to find a better trailer.
Were you?
For the show.
I found a
guys
really
noticed
good
it?
trailer where they took that original Obnoxious trailer and then cut the Robert Redford version in with like the same scenes and everything. And that I was really excited. I was like, yeah, Robert Redford version. All right, I gotta go watch that one again. Man.
So yeah, big week at the box office.
Yeah.
Movies made a lot of money.
For
this
Iron
week
Man.
again. I think Iron Man probably be number 2 again, and then Star Trek obviously will be number 1.
Yeah.
There's actually some cool movies coming out on Blu-ray next week that I'm going to get.
There are.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
For me personally, there is one Sam Raimi movie I have never seen, and it's called Crime Wave, and that comes out on Blu-ray next week. So I'm really excited for it. There's also an old horror movie called The Town That Dreaded Sundown that's coming out. That is the basis for Jason in Part 2 because he wears a bag on his head. So I'm kind of excited for those movies. My dad always talked about how scary The Town That Dreaded Sundown was. Of course, it's a 1970s probably drive-in movie, so I don't know how scary it could possibly be. But you know what? I'm going to get it. I think it's like $16 on Blu-ray. Who cares?
Yeah.
You only live once. What else? I don't even know what else is coming out.
The Last Stand is probably the big release for next week, which is the Arnold Schwarzenegger's return to shooting people.
Nice.
Old. Also, yeah. Also, remember that movie Beautiful Creatures with Emmy Rossum?
Yeah.
Where like I'm a witch and she's a witch and we're all witches together.
And when you turn 16, you're going to be bad or good.
Yeah, that for like a week.
Yeah, it's like this. Yeah.
Wait, when did that come out? Like in
yeah, like March.
March?
Yeah.
It's like a month and a half turnaround?
Yeah, March or
Wow.
late February. It might have been late February. Side Effects, the last Steven Soderbergh movie that he made until the next
Under the
movie.
Candelabra, which comes out on HBO.
Yep.
I think I want to see that one again. I might not pay for it, but if it's streaming, I'll watch it again.
Yeah, that's a really interesting episode because that's one of the ones that Brad's not on where Ryan sits down not liking the movie and then he and I talk about it for a while and at the end he's like, I like that better than I did. Still not great, but
Rooney Mara's naked in it. It's good.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, Rooney Mara's in it. Speaking of really fast turnarounds, Parker, starring Jason Statham, comes out this week. Yeah.
That fucker never called in.
I know, because maybe I should watch that movie maybe he should watch it so he can call us again.
Yeah. The ABCs of Death, which is that like anthology of short horror movies that you guys went and saw.
Brad saw. I didn't see it.
Oh,
I love the poster for it with the little baby sitting in death's lap.
Yeah, it is a cool
creepy.
poster. Anyway, that comes out this week on the Blu-rays, as well as the last season of True Blood, which I don't think I even finished that season, so that's too bad. And there's the original Captain America movie, not the Marvel one, but that one where the dude is in a really bad suit that comes out this week. So, as well as Lego Batman the movie, which I didn't know was a thing. I guess they're making Lego.
Oh,
movies.
dude, you can watch those on. When I used to have Comcast, I used to have them on demand all the time. They're these cute little 10-minute movies with Lego people.
Yeah,
and they don't even talk. They just say stuff like. And they
oh, you're out of the loop because Lego guys talk now.
What?
In the games now, Lego guys talk.
I think Kevin Conroy's the Batman in there, right?
I believe so, yeah. I'd have to pull it back up again. I already closed
That's
it.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I always meant to get the Lego games, but I never tried one. I mean, I'm always tempted to get the Indiana Jones one, but never did. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Guess it's time to unspool real news.
Do you want to do commercials at all?
I guess we should get paid. Here's some commercials.
Hello, Real Nerds listeners. I'm Mac,
And I'm Idiot Chillix.
and we're here to tell you to visit SphrixesDomain.com. Why should you visit SphrixesDomain.com?
Well, it's simple. If you like farts and cartoons and bad words and stuff, you should definitely visit SphrixesDomain.com.
How do you spell that address I see?
What? I don't know. Fucking S something. I don't know. I'm incontinent. I have no idea.
Fine, I'll do it. S P H E
Sure.
R
Oh, God. Seriously, you're gonna
X.
spell the whole thing out?
S
Oh,
D.
God. Just say the domain part. I don't want to be here all night. Jesus. Does it get any more of a complicated website name? Stupid assholes first. Jesus.
Anyway, visit our website where you can read about all the funny adventures of 7 aliens struggling to live together in an abandoned warehouse in Denver.
Well, what? That's it? What? It doesn't say anything about my crazy hijinks or antics or what? Ridiculous.
Nope, that's all Svirks wrote down.
Well, that doesn't sound funny at all. But you know what does sound funny? Gross.
Oh man, I'm hungry
God.
again.
Oh, it's so disgusting. Oh, Svirks is gonna be pissed when he sees what you did to his office.
Hey, what are you guys doing in my office? It smells like puke and farts in here.
Go to SvirksDomain.com. Bye.
Svirksdomain.com.
My man spider sense is tingling.
Hey, look, it's Man Spider.
How's it going, true believers? When I'm swinging through Colorado and I need comic books, I head to Arvada, Colorado, to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Oh no, the teal troll is attacking me.
My son's in danger. Will no one help him?
Oh no, it's Man Spider.
Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, the whips the competition with great deals on back issues, 50% off, hold slot, 20% off list price. You want sports memorabilia? They got that too.
Where are you going, Man Spider? The teal troll still has my son.
Here's web in your eye.
Oh no, I'm bested by Man Spider again.
So visit 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Arvada, Colorado, and tell them the Real Nerd sent you.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smokin' Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
It's real news.
Real news. Real news all the time. That new Man of Steel trailer is fucking awesome.
It is, yeah. Except for it makes me really want to see that movie, except for the line where they're like, what's the S stand for? Well, maybe it stands for and then they like something happens and they don't finish the sentence, and I'm like, that's so corny.
Like Superman farted or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole chair just breaks out from under him.
But the mixture of Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner is so good.
Yeah, the truth is, I don't look forward to Superman.
You don't like Russell Crowe.
I know, and well, I like him in Gladiator, and I don't like Superman. But when they're talking about that, you know, about him and about with the movie, to me, that's what Superman is.
Yeah,
he's the guy. It's not really. This isn't really real news. I've been thinking about it since we saw it, because that's the first time I saw that trailer.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's like,
well, that one, yeah.
Yeah, and it just.
Have you seen you should watch the 4th TV spot where it's like the military is afraid of him. It's pretty good.
It just looks cool.
Yeah, I think that trailer works because it's so much about the iconography of Superman.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah, I realize I'm not actually excited about Superman. I'm excited about Superman's dads, because I think they're cool. I really like that opening shot of Krypton breaking apart. I'm like, tell that story. That seems cool. Don't talk about Superman.
Yeah, the Lois Lane Superman interrogation is really gonna do the Dark Knight thing. Come on.
Yeah, it's the worst scene in the trailer, and it's the only scene in the trailer. You know, it's just weird. Speaking of trailers, though, we got a trailer for Riddick, which I thought was never going to happen.
I didn't watch it.
I'm kind of underwhelmed by it. Like, it's kind of
really. Were you expecting? We had high hopes for it.
Yes, because like they had said like, oh, we're going to go back to sort of Pitch Black, and when they said we're going to go back to Pitch Black, they meant we're going to maroon Vin Diesel on a planet with some other dudes, and then have aliens or like have weird creatures attack them in the night. Nice. It's the same movie, which is kind of underwhelming. I just want cool sci-fi. Like, you know, Pitch Black is great.
I mean, I've seen two cool sci-fi. Well, yeah, two. Was it Oblivion and Star Trek?
Well, okay, I should say like I want some
Elysium
sort of
looks pretty good.
Yeah, Elysium looks
small-
awesome. That's the first time I've seen that trailer.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that trailer is
Where he
fantastic.
punches that thing and it like shatters into millions of pieces. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be this year's Looper for sure. We also got to see Paul Giamatti in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, with the barbed wire tattoo on his head.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really see like what he's gonna look like in a costume, but maybe
I have
maybe
a feeling
we
he
won't.
might not have one.
He might just be a big truck. That'd be cool.
I mean, or I think he might just be a thug.
Yeah. Well, but like you could get the same thing of like him driving through walls and all of that.
Yeah.
All of that action with him being in a truck. You know, like what if he's in a truck that Spider-Man can't stop? It's an
Yeah, he
unstoppable
could
truck.
be too. It could be the whole. What I've always said is, a superhero movie like that's what I loved about The Dark Knight. It opened with the Scarecrow kind of just in it,
Yeah.
and Batman shutting him down. What if it just opens with him stopping the Rhino?
Exactly. That would be really cool.
Because I remember there's an interview with Paul Giamatti where he says, "I want to be the Rhino in a Spider-Man movie." I don't know. That's my
sound
Paul
like that at
Giamatti.
all.
That was on the special features for Sideways.
Speaking of Sideways, isn't it weird that the both lead actors in Sideways are Spider-Man villains?
Yeah.
In Spider-Man canon.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. I'm guessing too. When every time I see, well, I mean, I'm trying to keep it spoiler free for me, even though I know Mark Webb is tweeting stuff like crazy. I have a feeling that it's following the Ultimate Spider-Man kind of mythology, where Norman Osborn is funding all these villains to stop Spider-Man.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's fine as long as Norman shows up as a Goblin eventually.
Yeah, and as long as Gwen Stacy does.
Not Ultimate Goblin, but she's probably going to.
Oh, you think they're gonna go that way, where it's a big mutated dude? Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Drew Pearce, who's the co-writer on Iron Man 3, obviously Shane Black was the other writer. Drew Pearce has been hired to write for the new Mission Impossible movie. They're going to make Mission Impossible 5 with Tom Cruise, obviously, because otherwise it's not a Mission Impossible movie.
Because Tom Cruise is badass.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. Hopefully they move quickly on that, because they got to make like 10 of those movies before Tom Cruise gets old.
He's 50.
I know, but
can you believe that?
That means there's
look that old. He's so awesome.
Yeah, that means there's not a lot of more time. Pretty soon he's going to be in a walker, and you know what's wrong with Tom Cruise in a walker? He can't run in a movie, and that's all I care about. And then we actually missed this last week, and I just want to talk about it because I think it's kind of interesting. Cops got canceled last week.
I thought it was already canceled, so...
No, exactly. That's part of it, is that I thought they were just doing reruns at this point, but no, that show has been running for 25 seasons. And is a big deal. Like, the ratings were still pretty good on that
G4 wouldn't be
show.
around anymore if it wasn't for Caps.
Well, G4's not around
it's
anymore.
not around anymore.
I know.
But they got canceled and then immediately picked up by Spike. So there will still be a 26th season of Cops. Because that shit is the bread and butter of cable television.
Well, I heard your favorite show from the season, Hannibal. Like, if NBC acts it, there's like 5 networks that want to pick it up immediately.
Good. Yeah, because I'm really worried about it, because I think network television cannot sustain what that show is doing, because it continues to gross me out while I eat and watch that show. Cool, that's news.
Awesome. So this week on Real Nerds Podcast, we saw the shittiest movie that's ever shit. Just kidding.
That's a harsh review.
We saw Star Trek Into Darkness. Joshua,
Trek Into Darkness.
Should people go see the new Star Trek?
I would definitely recommend it. I never watched Star Trek before the new one, and love the new one, love this one. It makes me want to be a Trekkie.
That's awesome. You just made my heart warm.
Which one should I choose?
Oh,
Which one should I choose?
I've never been so excited and unsure about where this is going to go.
I think people should go see Star Trek Into Darkness because it is awesome. So let's go ahead and play the I'm just kidding. Brad, should people go see Star Trek?
As some of you may know, I saw this movie once already earlier in the week in 3D, and I had a certain opinion of it. And after seeing it again today, I would say the 3D is not essential. It's probably the 3D you get from most movies, but the movie, some of the things we're going to talk about later, I was able to put them aside, and this movie's awesome.
Oh,
very cool.
You are totally stealing my review. Yeah, I also got to see it. This is the second time I got to see it. The first time I saw it in 3D, and 26 hours ago when I first saw it, I thought I haven't stopped thinking about it, and I was so frustrated by certain things that happened in this movie. And seeing it again, I'm so glad that I did before we recorded the show, because the movie is magnificent.
Yeah.
It's maybe one of the best Star Trek movies ever made, and yet I still fucking hate some stuff in this movie. So let's listen to the trailer.
Whoa. Let's play the trailer. He doesn't get to introduce the trailer, this fucking guy.
You think you can't make mistakes? But the choices you make could get yourself and everyone under your command killed. But I believe in you, Jim.
Darkness is coming.
This could just be the beginning.
Beginning of what?
All-out war. I request permission to go after him.
I cannot allow you to do this.
Jim, you're not actually going after this guy, are you?
Let's go get this son of a bitch.
You are a poem, Kirk.
Sir, there's a ship heading right for us.
You can't even guarantee the safety of your own crew. Now, shall we begin?
I'm sorry.
We're outnumbered. Outgunned.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I only know what I can do.
The ship's dead, sir. She's gone.
No, she's not.
No ship should go down without her captain.
I believe in you, Jim.
I'm waiting for the people that was like, I fucking hate this part of the movie.
No, so we just jump right into spoilers.
Yeah, we have
That's
to.
the only way
We
we can
have
talk about
to.
because this movie is just a big spoiler homage to Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan
I've never
and
seen Brad
the TV
so excited
series.
in reviewing a movie.
Yeah, he is.
Well,
yeah.
because it's pent up for like 3 days.
Oh yeah, no, I know, dude.
Yeah, this movie is based on. It does two things. It re-envisions the episode from the original series, and it combines the classic movie that everyone considers the best Star Trek ever made. Initially, when I saw it, those homages bugged the hell out of me because they aped them exactly.
Now, which ones we're talking specifically about the reactor, right?
The most glaring one is the reactor.
Yeah. Because that one is almost shot for shot. It's just the two characters are reversed.
Yeah, and a little bit of the dialogue.
Yeah, and and then the dialogue is like tweaked to switch the characters around. It is both brilliant and daring, and yet the first time I saw it, it was completely sapped of all emotion because I was watching it and it was so predictable because I had seen it before.
Yeah.
that I was just sitting there. I wasn't enjoying it.
Wait a second, Trekkies. We got to explain this to people. In the original Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, Spock is the one who is dying.
Yeah.
And in this one, they flipped it on its head and they made Kirk the guy who sacrificed. And I thought it was freaking brilliant. It blew my mind. I'm like, are they seriously going to kill Captain Kirk in this?
Yeah.
And I think Chris Pine is such a great actor, and is that's the guy who plays Spock. What the fuck is his name?
Zachary Quinto.
Yeah, Zachary Quinto.
No, it's an amazing scene.
Who I think is even doing a more convincing version of Spock in this movie.
Yeah,
I don't know how to describe that, but like I feel like he's totally channeling Nimoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of Nimoy, that part bugged me.
Yes,
because it's too much exposition that is only there for the new people.
Yeah,
who haven't seen Star Trek II,
well,
which
not
I don't
everybody
think
has seen it.
Yeah,
I know, but
no, yeah,
got a guy right there.
Yeah, I never saw Wrath of Khan.
Right, exactly.
It did bug me though a little bit. It took me out of it because it was kind of, to me, it seemed like fan service just to link the first and second movie together a little bit better.
Which I don't
It's
think it
like,
needed.
there's Spock's
And just to get Leonard Nimoy in it.
Yeah.
Which it definitely didn't need.
No,
Like,
no.
It
If
already,
it had just been his dad popped up on there, we'd be like, hey, it's Spock's dad. And those of us who saw the movie were like, hey, that guy. It would have been fine. You didn't, But obviously there is a reason, there's a plot reason why it has to be Leonard Nimoy. It has to be Spock because,
no one else knows.
well, because because nobody else knows how dangerous Khan is, and knowing how dangerous Khan is it influences the choices that Spock makes after that. In that first conversation that Spock has with Khan over the walkie, if you will, he's reacting to the fact that he's found out that no, if we wake your people up, they are crazy racists, so we're gonna kill everyone in space. And Spock wouldn't know that if he hadn't talked to old Spock, future past Spock.
Yeah.
Oh
shoot, what was I going to say?
It does feel clunky. Sorry.
So yeah, the first time around, those homages really bugged me because they were so close to the original material.
Yeah.
But the second time around, I was able to just put it aside, and also the fast pace of the movie. There's very little just quiet downtime.
Yeah.
So it felt like, in Star Trek, in Wrath of Khan, there's this chess game going on. This very meticulous Khan versus Kirk thing.
It's a submarine battle.
Yeah, in this movie, everything's going so fast. There's no time to really accept the weight of what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's all hurried and rushed. So I feel in this version, it's a little the resonance of what happens isn't as strong. Like when Kirk dies, I'm not like, oh, boo-hoo. It's sad, and Zachary Quinto's performance mirrors elevates what's going on. But in the original one, it's just it feels so much stronger. But it also could be just because I've seen it,
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Whereas
thing.
a first timer, I may be wrong. But
did you cry, Josh?
I was about to.
See, that's awesome.
Even though it was kind of predictable with McCoy taking out his blood test and testing on the dead Tribble, Khan's blood, and then I knew, it's going to be some kind of regenerative thing that they're going to use later on. And when Kirk died, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
They can't kill off Kirk, right? So it was a little bit predictable, but they definitely played it out very well.
Yeah. That part of it is not anywhere near as graceful as it is in Wrath of Khan, where they let that character die, and there is some hope left at the end, but that character's dead at the end of the movie, and you got to wait 3 or 4 years till they make another one before you get any resolution to that. Because the truth is, if you look at what they do, they beat death at the end of the movie. They either have to completely Harry Potter and the Necklace of Time Travel brush this under the rug, or the next movie is about hey, everybody's immortal now. What are we gonna do? It's crazy. The thing they do at the end of the movie is, on its face, crazy. But they sort of try not to look straight at it.
As not a huge Star Trek fan, though, I mean, I've only seen 2, 4, and 6.
Right.
But watching this movie, as I'm seeing the events unfold at the beginning, I'm reminded. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure this guy is fucking Khan, because I'm just, the little hints that are given throughout it and all the little things that he did. And I remember when he has that monologue in Wrath of Khan where he's talking to Kirk, what Kirk did to him. I'm like, I think this motherfucker's Khan.
Yeah.
And as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, or maybe not. Maybe he's just misunderstood because he's killing. The Klingons were really cool in this movie.
Oh, my
Another
God.
thing that they never said were in the movie.
One of the coolest things in the movie for me.
And, just to have that reveal. And I have to say, too, the movie is beautiful. Is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. And the score is amazing. It's just the whole film, I think, putting it together is just such a great movie. Even though, it doesn't breathe like the original Star Trek, but I think you're given information, and I don't know. I love the original Wrath of Khan. I mean, it really got me excited for Star Trek, but seeing these actors that are younger and kind of hipper, I think elevates the movie a little bit. Not saying that the original crew's bad,
right?
But when you have someone like a Chris Pine, who's this really great actor and has you believe him, and you believe that he's a loose cannon, and that scene where the Admiral and him are going at it about I'm doing this because I don't care about your protocols, I'm doing what's right, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I disagree with the idea that there's no downtime, because my favorite part of the movie, like, I honestly, the first time I saw it, within that first hour, I was like welling up in my seat, not because there's sad stuff in the movie, but because it was so good. I think especially the opening sequence where they're on this mission and they're not supposed to interact with these people and all of that, that is so exactly what I wanted from Star Trek. And that's exactly, the complaint after the last movie was, well, this is an action movie and not really a space exploration movie. And they gave us that, if only in one sort of long scene, but they gave us some of that. And then the first thing I said after the last Star Trek movie is, and I'm proud as a writer that I was right about this, is that if whatever the sequel is, the last Star Trek movie was a Spock movie, the next Star Trek movie has to be a Kirk movie, and the first 20 minutes after that are really all about Kirk and his struggle, and those great scenes where he's with Pike and stuff like that, and he's either figuring stuff out or struggling with where he is and what he's doing, and this problem that he has of not really taking responsibility for stuff. Like, all of that was so good, and I think sets up the end of the movie. It's why, seeing it a second time, I realized the script is really good. I mean, yes, it's a Kurtzman and Orsi action scene every 10 pages, like, this bomb has to do something wrong and we have to end up disarming it because we haven't had an action scene in a little while. Like, yes, that gets a little old, but it's a great adventure action movie with some real good heart at the bottom.
But too, I love the play when you find out that these missiles have people in it. That who is Peter Weller's character's name? I can't remember.
Admiral Marcus.
Marcus, yeah, he was going to kill Khan with this very people that he was trying to save. I mean, there's so many like underlying things there. It's just beautiful and horrifying at the same time.
And the space battle's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
During warp, like there's so many things that haven't been done in Star Trek before either, like this ship being underwater or falling through the clouds, or like having a battle during a warp.
But that's something like they've done that on the show, but we've never got to see it on the big screen. Like, that was cool.
Yeah. Like in Wrath of Khan, it's kind of like they're always kind of passing each other, and the clouds are masking, so they can't see each other, and it's a big guessing game. But this one's just like Star Wars, like all barrels.
And it's almost like a fan wish fulfillment, because what it really is what if Khan could build his own ship, and that ship was crazy good and could kill anything, and then that went up against the Enterprise. Like, I've seen movies where the Enterprise gets destroyed, and I've never been so afraid for the Enterprise and its crew as I am in this movie.
Well, because I think too, they show things like, they blast a hole in it and people are being sucked out, and you're like, at warp speed, you're like, oh my god, that'd be a horrible death.
Yeah. At warp speed, I'm like, where do they end up? Like, do they get ripped into like? Do they end up as like a squished blob somewhere? That's a horrible way to die. Whew.
And even little scenes or little things in the movie that are so well done. When Kirk and Khan are going to be blasted out, and he realizes what Khan's doing to get ready, Kirk, gets down too, and he's ready to go. And even things when I saw in the trailer, I didn't know if it would work, but when you find out why they're blasting between ships, I mean, it's so cool. Yeah. It's just a cool movie. It really is.
And I found Khan more menacing the second time around too. Like, because instead of trying to pay attention to like everything that's going on at once, I was able to focus on just his monologue. Yeah. When he's talking about like,
it's powerful,
especially when he cries.
How much he cares about his people, and then also like later when he's just like, I'm gonna walk all over your corpses.
Yes.
And,
man.
I'm gonna decompress the ship on you. Yeah.
And I had the same thing, and I'm probably going to write an article about this week because it has gotten me so thinking about the way that we see movies, especially remakes and reboots and rehashes and all of that, because I realized that the second time I liked it because, okay, first of all, Brad, you were right. It was Khan.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. But the first time I watched it, when they revealed it was Khan, it was so distracting for me because I probably spent the next 10 minutes thinking about whether or not it should be Khan, whether or not I was okay with that. Like, it was such a thing. It was like there was this fanboy in me that I don't like that guy, but he's in me anyway, and it was distracting almost. And so yeah, the second time seeing it, I all of that was done. I knew what was going to happen. It didn't matter that they were going to do that to me. I got to just be there for the ride, and it was so much fun. And I'm sure that there are many, many Star Trek fans out there that are like you and I, where they're going to watch this movie and at first kind of be taken aback. Like,
Star Trek 2 is so precious.
Oh, you touched me there. You're not allowed to. No, that's my no-no spot. And then you realize, no, okay, it's okay. Because especially when you realize that
we're still in an alternate universe.
Yeah, well, and I think that I was so impressed by the idea that this is them in that alternate universe saying, okay, based on what happened last time, what toys in this toy box that are left here from the original series, what might happen to these toys because of the way this universe is different? And one of them is, hey, they might go find Khan and use and abuse him in a way very different than they did in the original series. And looking at it that way, I realized like it's a really smart thing, and I understand why they did it. I still wish they had made a movie that didn't have Khan as a villain, because there are other stories to tell in Star Trek. But especially with the way they leave the movie at the end, where they're going on a 5-year mission, you realize, oh, they're free to tell whatever story they want now.
Yeah, as a first timer, Cumberbatch totally sold me on it. I want to go back and watch number 2 now. He was just so sinister, and compared to the first movie, even, he was just a much better villain in general. When Kirk is just beating the crap out of him, just punching him, going back for more, and then he's getting hurt from punching him.
Yeah.
And Cumberbatch, Khan, he's just standing there like, oh, are you done? Are you done yet?
Yeah.
So good. Going from Sherlock, which I just finished up recently, to this is awesome.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor.
Yeah, a real swing for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's magnificent. And how cool are those birds of prey, Brad? Did you just totally geek out when there were like I totally the first time, both times now, I just tensed up. Like I was just sitting in the seat like this, like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like I was having a BM in the chair. Like, oh, this is so awesome. I'm
Gross?
sorry.
Too much?
Yeah, no, it was. I
actually like the design of the old ones. I don't know why. And actually, the second time around, I was like trying to pay more attention to the design of Kronos.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because they have those like cylindrical designs on some of the walls, and I was like, "Where's that like Triforce looking thing?" And the only place it shows up is on their uniforms.
Yeah.
So, like the design of the birds of prey felt kind of generic to me, but.
I just thought they moved so
and
cool.
the Super Enterprise too. Like I felt like there could have been like a more, because in Wrath of Khan there's like the upside down version of the, so it's like a mirror version of the like Starfleet type ship. So like this one was just larger and more angular.
Yeah.
But that's
this one's more like an Enterprise E. That's a real deep.
The previews
deep
had me
cut.
thinking it was like from the future or something, and but yeah, they're all right.
I just thought they moved like dragons. It was awesome, man, because they like slightly flapped their wings. Oh,
that's true. They do move more bird-like.
Yeah, it's really probably my favorite scene in the movie. Just watching those things.
I love the design of the warp core. Like obviously it's a inside of the Death Star thing.
Yeah.
But the outside is actually more impressive, where it has those just like huge hulking, just blocks of steel with wires all going into one thing. Yeah,
they made the inside of the Enterprise look way cooler in this one. I mean, there's still those shots that are from the Budweiser beer company factory. You know, like those big drums are still in there. But there's a lot of the first time I saw that warp core, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, because we didn't get that in the last movie.
No,
you can see the warp core.
No,
and that whole sequence of like having like with the. There's still gravity, but there's no. It's like rotating, so everyone has to like get around while the ship's like flipping upside down. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stuff's like flying all over the place. That suck.
Yeah.
It's just a well done movie. I mean, it really is. I mean, even the editing. I mean, there was a sequence where Kirk is running. Man, what was he doing? He was picking up guns. I forget what he was doing, but it was just so seamless how he was running, and it was edited together so well. I want to say it was when they were on that Kronos planet, but he was running and picking up guns, and it's just so well done. And I mean, even little things like that, I just appreciate. And when they're huge movies like this, because sometimes when you get action movies like this, sometimes they don't care as much about continuity or something with cuts, and it was just one long cut, but it was multiple cuts of him picking up guns. I know it sounds really lame, but like little things I really liked about it.
I don't know if it's just that I am more educated on J.J. Abrams now, or if he's getting better at it, but there were some really impressive shots. And some of them I knew how he did it with CG and stuff, but shots like on Kronos where we watch the ship land and we zoom in on it and we see her getting out of the ship and we zoom into the ship and then we back out and watch her come out of the ship, and it's all one long shot. And obviously I can tell you where it's CG and where it's not, but it's really cool the way he makes that world all feel very cohesive by the way he films it. I think he's probably the best at that, maybe right now.
And did you guys notice the lens flares that much? Because I didn't.
Only in Carol Marcus's speech with her dad, where there's a point where like the shot goes almost entirely blue, and because it's an emotional scene, I like that. To me, it's slightly distracting, but I still like them.
To me, it never really bothers me.
Oh no!
Every time I see it,
just makes
I
it look
don't mind
good.
Because I think he's a really cool filmmaker, and that's just his thing. You know, it's his style and it's what he does.
And they're definitely less pervasive than they were in the last one.
Yeah, I still love it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was also able to pay more attention to the foreshadowing this time around.
Yeah,
because you've seen it already, so you can kind of let things slide. But when Admiral Marcus is talking to Kirk and Spock about going on the mission, and his little model ships are lined up, and at the very end is the super ship.
Oh yeah. Well, I noticed that the first time because I'm a huge Apollo geek, and so when I saw like the early Gemini pods and stuff like that, I was like, ooh, this is a cool shot. I wouldn't even listen to the dialogue the first time I saw it, and then the second time, because I knew what was actually going on and I knew Marcus's like motivations, I was actually paying attention to that because like they are so good at hiding, it's the old mystery box thing. Like they are so good at hiding those mysteries in plain sight, where you feel like you know what's going on because Marcus is telling you, but Marcus is the one who's lying. And so when you watch it a second time, you realize that everything he's telling you is a lie. All of a sudden, the John Harrison thing makes sense, and you understand why that's the name given to him. Like Khan isn't running around calling himself John Harrison. Yeah. It's just smart. This is a really great movie.
Very well done.
I have a question for you on the foreshadowing.
Oh.
With Spock asking McCoy if he could go and arm all of the warheads again before they beamed him over to Khan's ship, did you have any indication that he was going to remove the bodies? Was there anything? Because I knew he was going to beam those bombs up armed, but I was surprised when they took out the bodies. So even though there were obvious things to me, it was like,
the first time around,
cool.
The first time around, I thought they went over to the ship.
Yeah.
I missed that. I kind of missed that setup the first time around. The second time around, I saw it, but obviously I knew the outcome, so it didn't matter. But I kind of got the surprise first time around.
Yeah, I get what you're saying too, because I thought maybe Spock's logical move would to be, unfortunately, to kill all those people, because if they're all as superhuman like Khan, then 71 more of them would be a bad idea. So logically, he would send them over there. But
and also like now the Spock scene is more relevant because like that gave him the motivation to do that. Yeah. So
honestly, the fact that you guys even thought about that makes me realize I clearly am a bastard who didn't care about those people at all. Because it never crossed my mind. I didn't care that there were people in the pods. I was like, yeah, blow that guy up.
That's why you're Ryan's first officer on the podcast.
Wait, I'm Admiral Kirk on this podcast.
Whoa.
You know what else, though? With the way this movie ended, and because it's based on the episode from the TV show, probably more so than the movie, there can be a movie down the road that is more like Wrath of Khan, where it's like he does come out of being marooned, and seeks even greater revenge on Kirk.
Yeah, but do we need it? Because then it really is you're just remaking Wrath of Khan. I would rather see the next movie be one where
maybe there's whales involved.
Okay, now I'm in. Is it Khan attacks Earth with whales? Because I want to see that movie.
Superhuman whales.
Oh my God, yes. The truth is, at this point, I just want them to sever the cord, and the next movie should just be an original idea about them fighting the Klingons. Because if the next movie's not them versus Klingons, then this movie makes less sense because they just started a war with Klingons.
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be an all-out war in the next one.
Or maybe even better, you just start it with like a 20-minute long political debate where they make peace with the Klingons, and there's no action at all. And it's a real snooze fest. I would love that. That would be great. And then at the end, you fight some, space dragons or crystalline entities. Crystalline entities show up. They shoot that with a phaser. And
I was about to say, like, I think a cool idea for the third one is to do a Star Trek Next Generation reboot, where we have rebooted characters for the Next Generation crew, but they're involved in the third movie. So where you could have the crystalline entity and Data.
Oh yeah,
but new actors.
There's been some rumor that they're talking about maybe doing a Borg movie, Because
for the original series. That'd be
Yeah.
cool,
Like, what if the original cast met the Borg? Like, that would be really cool. We've never gotten to see something like that.
That
Yeah, you guys don't
anything
know.
sounds appealing to me. You know? After seeing that, it's just so cool. You know,
Yeah.
I'm actually wondering what should I look at now. You know, I've seen Star Trek the reboot. It was a jumping on point for me.
Yeah.
And then I saw the new one just now tonight. What should I watch now? I like them.
I mean, obviously the one big one is Wrath of Khan, but it's almost, especially after this movie, like
it's a rehash.
Well, it would be interesting. I definitely think you should watch it, but if you're gonna watch it, don't just watch that movie.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, don't watch that movie and go, oh, the old ones are corny by comparison.
Okay.
Because for one thing, that movie is awesome. It just is. But, the rule of thumb with the old movies is that the even-numbered ones are great. So 2, 4, and 6 are all wonderful movies.
Okay.
And that's really the easiest
People
place to
knock
start.
3 and 5. I think they're still good.
3 and 5 are still good.
Obviously, 3 connects 2 and 4. So,
but
I
I've
think
never seen 3 and 4. It doesn't matter.
No.
You just know that they're stuck on a different planet.
But 3, I think, has some really cool action sequences in space.
there's a plot point that's kind of significant for Kirk.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Yep.
So, and then 1.
Yeah. Definitely do not watch 1.
Okay.
It's
like,
a beautiful.
Watch 1.
It's a beautiful movie, but it's slow.
It should be the last one you watch.
Okay.
I would watch. Ooh, I was about to say I would watch Nemesis before I watch 1, but and yeah, I would definitely, because you know the characters from these movies, I would definitely start with 2, 4, and 6 because those are the original cast. The next gen movies are also good, but then you got to get introduced to a new set of characters. So yeah, 2, 4, 6, then 7, 8, and then don't watch anymore.
You should watch
Sounds
them all.
good.
You should watch them all.
I think eventually I'm going to.
Yeah, just not in order.
Because even like the old crew, I mean, there's still lots of fun. I mean, like Shatner and Nimoy, and I always forget the guy who plays Bones in it, but I love him.
DeForest Kelly.
DeForest Kelly. Yeah.
They're really funny characters, and what I'm always, even this movie too, is funnier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
What's great about Star Trek movies is they always have humor in them that you would never expect. I love in The Wrath of Khan, Are You Out of Your Vulcan Mind? And because they're such a part of like pop culture now that you forget at a time they were not. So it's, yeah.
Has Simon Pegg ever been such a good actor?
He got so much more screen time in this one.
Oh my god!
Like,
and it was like he
a huge chunk.
cries.
Yeah.
Oh.
And being such a geek that he is, how much fun do you think he had, like reciting the Star Trek 2 lines for Scotty?
You need to right down here right now.
Yeah, his face when that fish goes by is priceless.
Yeah.
And also, I forgot to geek out at this. There's a Tribble in the movie.
No, yeah. Well, there was a Tribble in the last movie.
Was there?
Oh yeah. Scotty's got one in his base right behind him. Scotty's got Tribbles. You can notice it easiest because you hear the sound. So yeah.
That is a comic movement from 1901, guys.
Damn, that's loud. Oh yeah, I didn't see that in the first one. But, well, cool.
It's back. Yeah. I was really afraid that the Tribble at the end, like I was afraid they were going to really reference the show and at the end have like, oh no, there's a lot of Tribbles because we gave them Khan's blood. Oh darn.
Or it's twitching because there's a Klingon on the ship. Because they freak out at Klingons.
Cool.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Did we geek out too much?
I've seen 2, 4, and 6. Anything else? I've never watched an episode from the original series. I've seen a handful of new.
I think The Trouble with Tribbles is the first one I ever watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not a bad place to start.
Nice.
Anyways, you can find us on Twitter, real_nerd. You can email us directly, realnerds@gmail.com. You can call us 720-6nerds5. You can leave us messages on our Facebook page. You like us on Facebook. We're Real Nerds Podcast. Visit realnerdspodcast.com. Joshua, thank you so much for being on the show this week. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
And next week, I think it's a 2-movie week.
What's next week?
Hangover 3 and also Life in the Fast Lane, Food on the Fast and Furious 6.
The title card just says Furious 6. I'm so happy. Oh, man.
I guess a lot of people are commenting because, the last movie was Fast 5.
Yeah.
And the title card for this movie, when you watch it, says Furious 6.
Yeah, which I think would have been the title if not for marketing in the real world.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So good. So
because
excited.
if you just saw Furious 6, you would have no idea where this movie came from.
honestly, I think most people who, even if you've seen them all, you watch those movies and go, I have no idea where this came from, but it's great.
Thinks Vin Diesel is hot, but every time there's that shot of him in that trailer where he's like, "What's in it for us?" His face, his head is so crooked. It's like he got punched really hard by The Rock in the last one, and he's a little uneven.
He did. Did you see the last one?
I did. It's awesome because The Rock's in it.
And don't forget to come out to the Oriental Theater May 28th around 8 p.m. You can see the premiere of the Real Nerds Pod Show.
Starring me.
What? That's so
right.
exciting.
Yep.
Very exciting.
It's part of Open Screen Night, so tickets are $5 at the door, and we don't get any of that money.
Any money from that? What the fuck? Do we have to pay to put our thing in there? Do we have to pay to have our...
No.
To be shown?
It's free submissions.
Good, then fuck it. Who cares? Pay the Oriental Theater. People there are working hard.
Oh, yeah, they are. It's a nice little old theater. It's cool.
And
they have to pay for the roof.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. I bet old roofs are hard to keep up.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Josh.
Bye.